So greetings, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to speak about free will, but specifically I don't want to debate the following, which is compatibilism, determinism. I want to speak specific about free will, but more instinctively about your ownership and your blame culture. So, and just give you kind of a bit of guidance. So this is what Karnak Holistics is about. So I'll see you after the intro. So greetings and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay. I'm from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So as I said, today I don't want to really debate the two topics, which is determinism or compatibilism. Today is about free will and the constraints around free will, but it's not specifically in the scientific point of view of free will. It's more of a social point of view about free will, more about a blame culture and an ownership culture of our own actions. We can debate the whole idea about if we fall upon whether we have control over our own beliefs, and is it an external source or is it internal source, if it's been influenced by external sources and or influenced by internal sources. But this is not what I want to talk about today. That's another video which I want to really specifically focus upon. But what I do want to touch upon now is about a story, basically. Let me just quickly say a story about free will. So back in the old days, right, in middle 13th century, even 14th century, did you know there used to be trials for cockatoos, for actual pigs as well? A pig was on trial, I think it was in France, for mauling a young child and was hung and executed. So you may laugh at that, but think about it. It is a crime against humanity. So the animal, about free will, did the animal have influence externally or internally? Did it know what it was doing? That's another subject, but this is the kind of thing I don't want to speak about. So, but I wanted to just kind of put it out there because it's something that I came across I thought was quite interesting to share with you guys. The other thing I want to speak about, there were two people I'm putting up now. These two are influential in the whole idea about compatibilism and free will. They were philosophers in the ancient Greece, and they were looking at the ideas that we do own our own our free will is influenced by our own actions, past and future. This is where the influence from your past influences your future. This is the people it comes under. So I'll fling them up again so you can see who I'm talking about, them two names. So what I want to speak about is our ownership and blame. Now, I hear this a lot whenever I do either readings or I'm working with people, is the first thing when something goes wrong is that they blame God, right? And we all do, God, it's God's fault. Wars is done by God's fault. God started the wars. It's all done in religious beliefs. Reality, we have our own ownerships. We own our own stuff we do. Yeah. And a blame culture should, whether what we do, we are in control of our own actions, no matter what the scientific community, and I'm not blaming the scientific community because I'm not what I'm doing, but what I'm talking about from a social point of view, we are in this moment, what we do, and we go out there and we commit a crime, or we do something, or we lie or we cheat. We know what we do is either wrong or right. And again, it is about stop blaming other people for your own actions. You can't pin the blame on other people because, for example, if you are, your relationship is breaking away, you're not together, and there is no sex in a relationship, it doesn't give you the right to go and sleep about. It is not compatible. It's not right. It is for the fact is that if your relationship is not going well, it is for the fact is that you deal with it, you move forward with it, you talk to each other, you then try and work out and find a solution. If it doesn't work, then you should move on. We've all been there. We're in a relationship, and for the fact you're not getting on, and then your relationship, there is no sex there, so you're hungry and you meet someone new who's more worldly and more exciting, and you just feel like, you know what, it's justification of what it's doing. No, we own our own stuff. Now we can look at crime, right? We can look at, which I'm not going to touch upon because I want to specifically talk about us blaming ourselves. We need to take the heat a bit off us. Actually, a bit off us, but also we have to put the heat up on us. I know that sounds really strange to say that. In an element, it's like if you have done something once, yeah, and you know it's wrong, and you continue to do it, and you're shooting people, you're lying, you're cheating, you're I don't know, talking bad about people. You know what you're doing is wrong. You know that because you feel it in that moment. It's that feeling inside you which will tell you what your actions are doing isn't complying with what humanity is about. So you would know whether you're being disruptive or you're being not supportive of whoever this person is. So I think it's what we need to look at as our own inner self and actions. So our actions is therefore focused upon our cause and causality. Now, if we turn around and have a knife in our hand, yeah, and I use this pen for example, and we're going to stab ourselves, it's going to hurt. Now, it's just common sense. It's just, don't stab your hand in. Some people do that because they feel it's right to do. That's totally down to them. But in reality it's wrong and it will cause harm. You got a knife, you stab someone, you're going to harm that person. You ain't going to stab the person and it's not going to hurt them, or you're not going to cause some kind of injury. That's what's going to cause. Therefore, you who has done stabbing is the owner of this actual action, not the person receiving. So if the person's winding you up and then you go and you stab them, that is not a justification. There's no justification. You can just walk away. I'm not condoning violence, but it's not right. But it's like you can just walk away from it all. So there is no reason that you need to turn around and use violence against someone because they're bad-mouthing you in some way or form or another. And I think a lot of people, when stuff goes not in their favor, they have a tendency to turn around and blame God, like it's God's fault. And I found, even me to the degree, I found in recent months when things weren't panning out certain ways and I had the opportunity to sort it, but I didn't, and then shit went wrong, who are the first person blame? You should have done this for me, you should have helped me, and I blame God, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, is that I know in that moment that I'm in the wrong. And I know that my actions is going to have a cause and an effect. So what I turn around and do is I wait. So I'm driving in my car, for example, and I see someone who is either going slow or they just cut me up. Do I turn around and yell at them, or do I turn around and just totally ignore it? Or do I I'm driving towards the lights are changing. Do I jump the lights or don't I? Obviously, you stop and you don't jump the lights because the other lights are going to go green. And if you drive through a red light, you're going to more than likely hit somebody or someone crossing the road. It's just totally stupid. So when I see people jumping lights, even cyclists, because I've seen cyclists jump lights and hit a pedestrian, that is utter stupidness. And if you do that, then you should be accountable for that. So it's not for the fact is that the laws of the land, what the laws of cause and causality is. If you go for a red light and then someone's crossing, you're going to hit them, and you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong. So for me, it's like for example, I was caught speeding and that's my fault. Cause and causality. I had to go and sit the driving test. So I remember being there and you make little jokes like I do. I'm a bit kind of like, it was a bit of banter there, and it was really, I was going to say it's really good because that's not what it's about. It was teaching us a lesson, which was good because once someone said, you know, you're coming up to the lights, or you're driving in a lane and someone's driving the speed limit. What do? Do you, as I said, oh, you flash him, tell him to hurry up, right? And reality is, you know what? A lot of people do that, and admittedly, I've done that in my past. And at the end of the day, it doesn't. If anything, the person in front's gonna go, I don't care, I'm slowing down, you know, and that's even more so you can cause an accident. Or you get the people behind you, yeah, who are flashing you to speed up. But how the hell should you be speeding up if you're in a 20 miles an hour speed road or area? So our actions causes a reaction. Therefore, we need to take ownership of what we do when it comes to, you know, talking, moving, and whatever actions we do. And I see a lot of people complain that they don't get support from the universe or from God because things have gone wrong. Now, things happen. Sometimes darkness happens before the light comes. And we all must be prepared for that. And this is what I was telling a good friend of mine recently, though they're going for a bit of a hard time. I said, like, darkness comes before the light. It's rare you get light than darkness. It just doesn't make any sense. So let darkness come and then light will come after that. And then, but all the time through the darkness, always praise him. And as you're going through and you're praising him, that's when you will be more fruitful in that sense, when you come out the other end. So ownership is a fundamental truth. If we own our own stuff, our free will, it's our own responsibility of our own actions that we take ownership for that. And also, if there's external influences, like people are going to you, do this, go on. Like, you got a bully, right? You got a bully going to you, go on, hit him. It's down to you to turn around and not hit the victim, right? Despite this external pressure from this idiot who is telling you to cause violence and hurt this individual. You're the one who is the one in the wrong, and this idiot that is telling you to turn around and cause harm to that person. And so you should be able to turn around and stand up for yourself. So I'm not doing it. Just walk away. I know it's easier said than done, and you've got people around you. You probably find bullies are cowards anyway. They turn around and get someone else to do their bidding because they're too weak to do it themselves. So you turn around and say, well, you do it. They will be like, probably more than likely not do it. And if they do, I'll be very surprised, because they're cowards and they like to be center of attention, a center of the universe. So remember, you're the one who's going to have the ownership on what you do, and your actions are from what your transgressions come out. So I'm going to leave it on that, and I'm going to talk about the other things, compatibilism and determinism, on another video, because I think it's a really interesting subject, and it does speak more on deep level from a scientific point of view and from a free will point of view, to make you understand what free will is actually about, or is there free will or isn't there. So anyway, that's another subject. So I'll see you on the next video. Stay safe and look after yourself, and God bless, and namaste.